Wow. Congratulations. You have made it through all of the small step tips. This particular tip is something that is very close to my heart because I have seen it sink so many people's weight loss effort. So this is something that I hope you're watching or should be watching around your bedtime. And it usually around bedtime is a time of reflection. So this is something that I want you to reflect up on. Now, I'll actually make my point with a simple story. There was a woman who decided at the age of 60 that she wanted to go back to medical school. And she was so excited about the prospect of doing it. But she spoke to a friend of hers. And this friend said, "Are you crazy? You're too old to go back to medical school. By the time you finish, what? You'll be 70 something years? That's too old." And the lady just smiled at her friend. And she said, "Time is going to pass anyway. I get to choose how I want my time to pass. And if God should grant me to live a few more years longer, then I will get there and I will have my medical degree." And that's the point, is that time is going to pass anyway. So don't let the enemy fake you out and say, "Oh, it's taking too long to accomplish your weight loss." Because I'm sure if you look back on your weight loss history, that you can remember times when you were doing pretty well, but you stumbled. And then somehow that negative voice, that negative chatter came up and said, "Well, you failed, so you might as well quit." And you listen to it and you quit, only to come to yourself maybe 6 months later, a year later, and think about it, that if you had not listened to that voice, if you had not quit, if you had just merely continued, then you would have reached your ideal weight by then. So again, when you stumble, you don't have to go all the way back. That's what I call part of the diet mentality of all or nothing thinking. It says that if you're not able to do something perfectly, then you might as well not do it at all. And that is just wrong, because you can on this journey make slides, make slips even, but as long as you learn the lesson and continue to move forward, you will reach your ideal weight in time. In fact, I call time the great multiplier, because sooner or later, as you make those small steps but you add the powerful multiplier of time to it, then you can achieve big results on the positive side. But you know what? Here's the kicker. It also happens on the negative side. Case in point, after high school, I gained almost 100 pounds after high school. And I figured it out one time. And I thought to myself, how much extra eating would it take for me to gain 100 pounds after high school? Well, I figured out that it took about 20 years for me to gain that 100 pounds, but all it took was gaining 5 pounds every year for 20 years to equal that 100 pounds. Now, what does it take to gain just 5 pounds a year? Well, to gain 5 pounds a year, all you have to do is overeat an average of just 50 calories. That's not a lot. It really is not a lot. It's a little, but when you add that powerful multiplier of time, it can equal big weight gain. And at the same time, I figured out, I said to myself, well, what could I have done to prevent that? And really, all that would have taken was to take a couple of bites less than what I was doing, or exercise that extra 50 calories off. It's not really a whole lot, but when you think about the context of your day and how you're living your life, you actually can get some major results. So that's the mindset shift that I want you to make. Don't let impatience steal your dream of getting to a healthy weight. So that's one thing. I hope that you found these tips valuable. If you have any questions about any of them, you are certainly welcome to email me at any time. I'm actually going to put all of the tips online. And one of the things I will do actually when you view this tip is within the email, I will include a link to all the tips. So if you missed any of them, then you can always go back and review them at your leisure. Or if you need remembering, because sometimes we tend to forget in the busyness of life. And then you'll always have these tips available so that you will always receive mentoring from myself and Judy so that you can stay on the right road. So God bless you and have a wonderful evening.